Well, we want to welcome you here today to the Sterling Relief Drain. This particular drain is probably one of the largest drains in Macomb County. It was built back in the 60s, actually, to drain what at that time was the Sterling Heights Township. Sterling Township, actually. It's a huge drain. It's 5.5 miles long, and it's about 300 feet wide. And everything that we do in our department is really with an eye toward water quality. And we think about quality of life, we think about how we can be a critical component of economic prosperity, but everything we're really doing is with an eye toward water quality. So today we're here and we are absolutely pleased to announce that we are in receipt of almost $2 million in grants. We've got a couple of grants to help us to do some things in the Sterling Relief Drain. Almost 2 miles of the Sterling Relief Drain. So we're going to be starting here by Van Dyke, almost down to Shaner. And essentially what we are going to be doing is improving this drain. So back in the day, everybody thought that it was the best way to drain is to put in all these big, hard pipes, right? So you would really bring all the storm water into the drain. Well, now we find that that is not the best thing to do for the environment. Because actually, if we can take out the hard pipes and let the earth use itself as a sponge, Mother Nature really, we can remove all kinds of sediments from going right out into the lake. And so what we're going to do is, we calling it daylighting, but we're going to take out these pipes from these laterals that are coming in from all these areas here. Almost 2,000 acres of drainage, actually, from the defense corridor here, from a lot of these auto plants, from Van Dyke, all these major corridors. We'll take out these hard pipes and daylight this drain. We think by doing that, we will remove literally thousands and thousands of pounds, first of all, of sediments that will now be absorbed by the ground here rather than flashing out into Lake St. Clair eventually. We're all going to be taking out as well thousands of pounds of nitrogen, all kinds of phosphorus, and of course when you hear about these algae blooms that are causing, water intakes to shut down because of the how toxic they are, and that's all caused by phosphorus, too much phosphorus in the lakes. So our principal reason to be here is to improve this drain. But that being said, as we thought about that part of it, what else could we do here? And so in the invert of this drain, we're going to be doing a lot of green infrastructure and also along the banks of this drain. So we are going to be using almost $1 million of these grants for green infrastructure. So we're going to be planting thousands, almost 5,000 trees here. Excuse me. We're going to be planting all kinds of shrubs along the sides of the drain. But in the invert, we're actually going to be putting in a mix of milkweed and wildflower. And we're going to do this for almost 2 miles. And by us doing that, actually what's going to happen here is the monarch butterflies will use this as a butterfly flyway, because the monarch butterflies only lay their larvae on milkweed. And milkweed has really been disappearing so much that the monarch butterflies, about 90% of the monarch butterfly population is gone, really, just in the last 2 decades. So not only are we doing what we need to do to make the drain flow better, to improve it, we are also going to transform the whole look of this drain. This is going to be really transformational and should be really a beautiful thing, I think, for the neighbors here to look at, and hopefully it's going to help all of our butterflies and our pollinators as well. But again, principally, this is all about water quality, and this is going to be a huge thing to improve water quality. And we're so excited about this that we do plan to extend this, and we're looking at doing something like this in some of our other drains throughout Macomb County as well. So we're quite excited. We're delighted. We are appreciative of the grants. We got a grant from the EPA. Thank you. We also got a grant from the National Federation of Wildlife, and so we thank them as well. And we're going to be accountable with the federal money, and we think it's really an important project, and all feeds in, again, to our whole eye toward quality of life, water quality, and economic prosperity for Macomb County. So with that, I'd like to introduce our county exec, Mark Hackle.
Thank you, Candace. I got double duties here. I'm trying to hang on to this thing so it don't fly off like a butterfly here. And I don't understand how come you guys got to sit by the beautiful butterfly and I had to hold a drain, for gosh sakes. It's interesting.
You're pretty enough, Mark. We need help.
Thank you.
Here.
Thank you for that recovery. I appreciate that very much. It's interesting if you stop and you think about it. Nothing gets in this lady's way. I mean, we tend to look at what's been going on here in Macomb County, in particular with infrastructure, roads, and the underground. And Candace Miller has done an incredible job of looking at not only how do we fix the drains, but also how do we beautify it, how do we make it better. And her connections along with our planning department, and I'm going to single out, if I can, Jerry Santora. This guy is incredible when it comes to, he keep pointing to everybody else, but this guy really understands. He's kind of our environmentalist, if you will, in Macomb County. And he has been looking forward to projects like this in working in particular with our Public Works office. It has never happened to the extent it is happening now because of Candace Miller's leadership and the folks that are working at Public Works. I'm telling you, they've been waiting for these opportunities to do this in areas like we're seeing here in Sterling Heights. The thing I find most interesting is that Candace Miller is finally getting out of someone's way, and that's Mother Nature. Otherwise, she gets out of no one's way. Everyone gets out of her way because when she has a plan, she has an idea. When she wants to hatch some kind of an idea, it's usually something pretty incredible. And now knowing that she's even concerned about hatching butterflies here in Macomb County, I'm excited. So with that being said, on behalf of the county, I'm excited about the fact that we were able to receive these grants, get this $2 million to do what it is we're talking about and opening up these drains so we can make not only the environment here in Sterling Heights better, but our precious lake, Lake St. Clair, which is one of probably the busiest freshwater lakes than anywhere in the country. That lake is so pristine and is one of the areas that I think sometimes gets overlooked. This has a direct impact on that. And once again, from our Public Works Commissioner, Candace Miller, she is concerned not only about the environment within the communities, but also with what's going on at Lake St. Clair. Good job, Candace.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I'm back to my job.
You know, we really have great partners. We certainly have great partners with the county, with our planning and economic development here, but we've also had great partnerships with the city of Sterling Heights. We've been talking about doing some of these things in the city of Sterling Heights, and with that, I'd like to introduce the mayor of the great city of Sterling Heights, Mike Taylor.
Thank you very much, Candace, and it's really is exciting to be here today for this innovative ceremony that we're having today, not only to improve the quality of our water, but improve the quality of our life for our residents in Sterling Heights and really the entire county of Macomb. I do want to thank Candace Miller for her leadership on this. As Mark County Executive Hackle said, she is relentless when she has an idea and will do anything she can to bring it to fruition. I think her federal experience for her years in Congress helped getting this EPA grant, and we're so grateful to have it here in the city of Sterling Heights. If you see behind me, this drain is really an underutilized area. It's almost park-like here. And to have the improvements that are being made for the water quality, improve the quality of life for our residents, and doing the innovative landscaping and green infrastructure that she's talking about, it's really going to be, I think, transformational for this area. If you look at what we've been doing in Sterling Heights, we've been putting a lot of money into our parks, we've been putting a lot of money into our infrastructure, and we've been trying to do it in innovative ways. And we couldn't ask for a better partner than the County of Macomb, the Executive's Office, Planning, and the Public Works Commissioner. She's just been, like I said, relentless, and we're very lucky to have this grant. We're lucky for your leadership, Commissioner Miller. We thank you for that. And we're excited for this Monarch Butterfly project, too. I mean, we can't wait to see how that will turn out, and I'm sure the residents that live up and down this drain are going to be very thankful for that, too. So thank you, Commissioner Miller. Thank you.
You know, one thing I should mention as well in regard to this grant, we do have some time restrictions in which we have to spend the money. So we're supposed to spend this money within a year. So I said, there's no problem. Give us the cash. You can see we've got this equipment out here. We are ready to go. We're ready to go with that. And one other thing, and I'm going to ask our county commissioners to speak as well. We're also, one of the things we're doing in our department is we have an environmental educator. And I really think that this is right up in the wheelhouse of these environmental classes that we have in so many of our high schools around Macomb County. So we're going to be reaching out to some of the high schools to see if the kids want to get involved with some of the different projects that we're doing here, because the truth is, my generation has not done the best job of protecting the environment. We need to do a better job, but it's the next generation, right? So we really got to get these kids involved in water quality and how to be a good citizen of the earth, quite frankly. With that, our drain boards, the Sterling Heights drain is under the auspices of a drain board, and we have our county commissioners that are involved with the drain board. And first of all, I'd like to ask Rob Myjack to speak.
Thank you, Candace. It's good to be here. Green infrastructure was not talked about 40 years ago when I remember certain parts of the Sterling Relief Drain as far as the pipes being installed. Back then I was a little boy, and we used to play in the area, ride our bikes through the trails, things like that. And Candace, there were a lot more monarch butterflies back then, so I'm excited about that as well. Again, green infrastructure was not talked about, and it shows you the negative consequences you can have on the environment when you do things a certain way, and obviously we're looking to change that with green infrastructure, so looking forward to what we can accomplish, and many more green infrastructure projects through your office, Candace, in the future throughout Macomb County. Thank you.
Thanks. And I'd also like to introduce Joe Romano, our other county commissioner here from Sterling Heights.
Thank you, Candace. The only thing I want to add to this is, there's kudos out here. This lady does walk on water, but I do want to mention that she's got a great team behind her. And when she realized that there were the grants available from the federal government, from the EPA, from the Department of Natural Life, she went ahead with this and relentlessly went after it. She said, this money's available, why don't we get it? And she did. She went out and got it. And as a result of it, this is what we're going to have done. She's also very sensitive to the needs of the residents, and they appreciate that. And with this infrastructure going on, with this green thing going on, the residents along this drain are going to be very happy about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, thanks so much, and I certainly want to echo what Commissioner Romano just said in regards to our staff, because my staff is fantastic, and they have all bought into the vision of trying to get more money, trying to get more grants, and also water quality, and again, trying to improve the quality of life for the residents in Macomb County, and being a critical component of economic prosperity as well. So with that, if we have any questions, we're certainly appreciative of all of you coming, and any questions, we're happy to answer them for you.
Where does the drain run?
It runs from, it's 5.5 miles long. This is sort of the genesis of it, if you will, here from Van Dyke, and it runs about 5.5 miles right straight down between 15 and 16 mile. And the money that we have will help us start to transform almost 2 miles of the drain. So from here down to about Shaner is the section that we're looking at doing.
You could have put this anywhere in Macomb County. Why did you pick this location?
I don't know if we could have put it anywhere. Really, this is sort of a unique asset, if you will, with this drain. And because it is an unusually long drain, wide drain, and it's actually owned by the Public Works. So it's not like we have an easement through somebody's property here. This is actually owned by the Macomb County Public Works. The drain, if you will, is Sterling Heights Relief Drain. So we knew that we needed to do a better job of making sure this drain was improved. And as we started thinking amongst ourselves, we came up with this idea of daylighting it, taking these pipes out. This is all going to help. And of course, one thing led to another. And then as we talked to the various agencies, we said, why we're doing this, we really like to create this whole flyway here. And they were very, very excited. So I'm glad about that kind of reception and response, because the truth is, I want more money. This is going to be a success, and we're going to try to continue to expand it.
This is a rainwater drain, correct?
This is a storm drain. It's not sanitary sewer. It's all storm drain. And one of the things I think we just haven't thought enough about is how we manage our stormwater. And it all ends up, everything is going downstream, right? In this case, this is running down to the Clinton River, eventually right out into Lake St. Clair. So we really need to think more about all the storm water it shoots out into Lake St. Clair almost like a fire hose. If you look at some of the aerials after a heavy rain, you just see these huge plumes of brown storm water going out, including everything that's being accumulated, right? As I say, the nitrogen, the phosphorus, all this sediment is going out into the lake. So we need to stop doing that, really. This is going to be a huge step forward, I think, for Macomb County.
And this is you're converting what is basically a large pipe into a natural wetland. Is that in essence what we're doing here?
Yes. Now there is an under drain, if you will, of this drain that we're not going to take those pipes out. But then you have all these hard pipes, these laterals that come in from Shaner, from Van Dyke, Dodge Park, etc. We're going to take those out as they come into the drain. And as I say, sort of daylight them. So we're going to be excavating that and allowing the earth to be the sponge. So.
Now, with the butterflies that we hope coming back, are we going to have any public access to this wetland, or is it a? I don't know. In the renderings, I don't really see pathways.
Well, there's no pathways here. So no, it's not really that type of a thing. It'll be a very passive kind of a thing that's happening here. But certainly, as I say, we'd like to open it up to at least school groups to come in here and to take a look and see if we can't teach the kids about our environment and how important it is.
Gentleman over here.
Yes.
There won't be any public access generally to this new.
This is not really a public access thing. It is a drain, so there is, you really don't want four-wheel cars going through here or whatever, so you have to be a little bit careful with all of that. And people do live along this drain, so it's really not open to the public.
The proposal
But
to put the linear park or the bike path that was floated a few months ago, that's pretty much not going to happen, correct?
that's not part of this plan at all. No.
How were you able to get these grants? Were you able to use your influence as a phone contact?
Well, we made some phone calls, and it all worked out okay. Yeah. But and this is we've been pretty successful in getting some grants in our department. We've done well with grants from the state, what they call SAW grants. We've done a number of different kinds of projects with SAW grants on our underground infrastructure, the sanitary sewers, and we also have done a lot of different inspections with SAW grants for our storm sewers, not just this one, but for instance, we had SAW grants to do 3 major storm drains that run from in the southern part of the county, like from Roseville and East Point, and they run through St. Clair Shores, all going out to the drain. One of those, as we were inspecting them, we found an entire apartment complex whose sanitary sewer was hooked up into our storm drain. For 35 years, raw sanitary sewage was going right out into the lake. So these are the kinds of grants that we've been getting, where we have a very comprehensive plan and projects of inspecting all of our drains, whether they're underground, sanitary, or whether they're these storm sewers.
You have a year to spend the money. When is the expected completion date of this?
In a year, because we're going to start. We're starting this month, actually. They'll begin. So we've let the contract, and the contractor is about to begin. So there'll be some real rapid movement here. Of course, some of it will be weather dependent, but we're going to move along.
Are these renderings available to us?
Yes.
Email or online?
Yes, we'll get you a PDF of them.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Thank you all very much for coming. We really appreciate it. Thank you.